All right, so it's time for the plugins. The plugins are a very important part in Logic Pro X. Essentially, it's a very important part in every digital audio workstation, such as Ableton or FL Studio. But in Logic, all the work happens in the plugins, I would say. These are the synths. These are the AU instruments, as you can see here. So this is a plugin. Audio effects, all of these are plugins. And all of these are built-in Logic. So they are not third-party plugins. They come bundled with Logic Pro X. That is also a plugin. This is also a plugin. So a plugin is basically just an application that opens up inside Logic Pro X, and that generates some kind of sound or sound effects. There's also something called MIDI FX, which we talked about earlier, and this is also a plugin. When you open up a plugin in Logic Pro X, you will get this interface. So everything that is from here down to here is the graphical interface of the plugin itself. So whatever is here, this is Logic's window for the plugin. So regardless of how the plugin looks, Logic will always open it up in this kind of wrapper. So it goes from here to here. And this is a very important part of the plugin, because here we can save settings of the plugin. So whatever plugin you're using, if you're using a third-party plugin or Logic's built-in plugins, this is always going to look exactly the same. So let's say I do some different settings in this plugin, like this. I can always save this, like this. So let's say my own preset. Now I would always find my own preset here. Let's say we're opening up another plugin. This is a built-in echo plugin from Logic. And this is the same principle here. I will always find the different presets of the plugin, regardless if I've saved it or Logic has some pre-saved presets. But I can still make my own preset like this. I just change something here. Save. My own echo. And now I found them there. And as you can see, all of the other Logic pre-saved presets are going here. So they're bundled in a factory folder now. So as I said, regardless of the plugin you're using, you can always use this save and load features. And of course, you can always find presets here. Some third-party plugins does not support opening up presets from this view, but you can still save your own and open up your own presets, but not the presets that comes with a third-party plugin. You'll have to find them in the plugin itself. So a plugin is called an audio unit in Logic. And this is just Apple's own type of plugin. The first plugin standard was named as VST. And VST is not supported by Logic at the moment. So if you're downloading a plugin, you always have to find an audio unit or a U plugin. If you're downloading a VST plugin, this will not load up in Logic. There is a view where you can find all of your installed plugin in Logic. You have to go to Logic Pro X, Preferences, and Plugin Manager. Here in the Plugin Manager, I can find whatever presets I have installed on my system right now. And as you can see, manufacturer, Apple, or Logic. That's the same company, so all of these are Apple's own plugins. I can also make my own categories here. So let's say that I want to sort all of the reverbs in one reverb folder. Here's the reverb folder. But let's say I only want Space Designer and Silververb in my own favorite folder. Let's create favorite reverbs. It's misspelled there. I think you know what the reverb are. Let's move, for instance, 2 of those reverbs. And now I have a folder called favorite reverbs, where I just find my own favorite reverbs there. I can also sort plugins in the top level view. So let's say that I sorted it that way. So now if I go here, I will find the Space Designer in the top level. Or I would find my favorite reverbs folder here. This is a very cool feature to use if you're using a plugin all the time. So I'm using a plugin called Gain very often. I don't want to have to go to the utility folder and then to Gain every time I want to open a Gain plugin. Like this, utility Gain. I really just want to have it in the top level here. And by the way, as you can see right now, the recent plugins are also showing up in the top level section. But this can change, of course. If I open some other plugins, this Gain plugin will disappear here from here. So let's say, go to the plugin manager, take the Gain plugin, put it on top level. Then I will find the Gain plugin in the top level here. I will also show you how to install a third-party plugin. A lot of different third-party plugins out there. Some are freeware, some you have to buy. There's a lot of cool freeware plugins from a company called Xfer Records, and this is mainly made for electronic music, but you can still use it for whatever music you're producing. So I'm a really big fan of the plugin OTT. So I just downloaded it. Let's open it up here. And let's download it. Okay, so let's install it now. I have read the terms here. So now the plugin is installed. We have to restart Logic to make Logic list the plugins. So let's close it. And let's open it again. Okay, so let's create a software instrument. And the OTT plugin is an audio effects plugin. So we want to go to audio units or Yeah. So I don't seem to find the Xfer Records OTT plugin in my plugin list here. And this is because the OTT plugin is in 32-bit and Logic Pro X just only supports 64-bit plugins. So that is very important to know, that if you're downloading your own audio unit's third-party plugins, you will have to make sure to download the 64-bit versions. So I just tried to install another freeware plugin called Noisemaker plugin, and this is a 64-bit plugin. And it does show up here in the plugin manager. So let's see how that looks. There we have it. So this is just a synth, and a third-party plugin could be whatever. It could be either a synth or something that makes some kind of sound, or it could be an audio effects or a MIDI effects, as I explained. And we can do the save. And in this third-party plugin, you can see that the factory presets are supported. So you can just open up a factory preset here and play.